I hope this brings you some joy.
Donald Trump's a convicted felon. Donald Trump's a convicted felon. Ooh. Donald Trump's a convicted felon.
السلام عليكم. سلامات يا حجي، كيف حالك؟
الله عليك يا ماما، متفهمة.
ايش اخبارك؟ الله يسلمك يا رب، كيف امورك؟
والله الحمد لله.
ايش بتعملي هون؟
قاعد اشوف انتو هن فرش ولا مخدة ولا حاجة.
انت وين قاعدة؟
هاي ظهري. انا وابني واولادي وبناتي 9 انفار، مش عارف وين بتضرب. انا ما عارف يا أمي وين بتضرب. والله يا أمي ما عارف وين بتضرب.
يعني انت قاعدة في كروكان بيتك؟
هذا ظهري. هاي هذا ظهري. هاي.
طب ايش رسالتك؟ صامدة انت؟
الحمد لله. طب ايش بدنا نسوي؟ والله حكم الله يما، والله هذا حكم الله. الحمد لله طلعت بولادي ناجي والحمد لله. الدار معوضة، يجي بالله ويعملوا لي بس خيمة، راضي يحطوا لي نتفة خيمة وحمام وخلص. والحمد
يعني
لله.
انت راضي بخيمة وحمام فوق بيتك؟ فوق الركام؟
بهمش يحطوا لي. وين بدي اروح يما؟ وين اروح؟ لو بدي اقيم حصوة بضل قاعد. مالي ان شاء الله وطلعت فيها الاولاد. الحمد لله.
الحمد لله.
I knew her name was familiar. I knew her name was familiar. And that is because Marianne Edgar Buddy, this absolute literal saint of a woman, when she found out that Matthew Shepard, who had been brutally and violently had his life ripped away from him, when she found out that his body didn't have a final resting place for 20 plus years because his parents were scared that his gravesite would be desecrated, she, alongside Reverend Gene Robinson, who I believe was the first openly gay bishop at the Episcopal Church, they invited the family to have him interred at the Washington National Cathedral. That is where Woodrow Wilson and Helen Keller and her teacher Anne Sullivan are buried. They invited his family to have a funeral there and have his body interred. And the reason that they had to do that was at his first funeral, it was protested to such an extreme amount that his parents were scared to literally bury his body. So people have always been out there helping and fighting and doing the right thing in the face of adversity. That's why her name sounded familiar to me.
Why are you here today?
Darling, I want my gay rights now. I think it's about time the gay brothers and sisters got their rights, and especially the women.
One person who paved the way for so much of the progress we see today is the icon herself, Marsha P. Johnson. I want to remind everyone of the power in Marsha P. Johnson's story. She lived unapologetically and fought for the rights of her community. Though Marsha battled her own mental health struggles, fighting for LGBTQ+ rights was always close to her heart, and her courage, matched with her activism, continues to inspire us all. Her legacy is a testament to the importance of standing up for justice, visibility, and equality for all, no matter your gender identity or expression. As we continue to face challenges to our rights, let's honor Marsha by living authentically and fighting for a world where everyone is seen, heard, and loved. To the queer community, I love you, I see you, and I am you. We are all a part of this ongoing fight for visibility, and together, our voices are stronger than any attempt to silence us.
And if I die, I hope nobody cries either. I hope you get up and dance, party, and have a good time.
Donald Trump was 18 when segregation ended. Donald Trump was 18 when segregation ended, and he was 19 when President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into effect the Equal Employment Opportunity Executive Order. I'm seeing people ask why. Why would Donald Trump sign an executive order which revokes Lyndon B. Johnson's executive order? Why does he want to get rid of DEI? And my theory is vengeance. During his most formative years, from 0 to 18, he watched people fight tirelessly to not have to integrate with Black people and other people of color. And on the brink of his adulthood, segregation was ending and orders were being signed for non-discriminatory practices for hiring and employment. I feel like at one time or another, Trump was passed up for an opportunity in his life. And instead of looking inner and saying, well, maybe I just wasn't smart enough, maybe the other person was more qualified, he thought it was strictly because of the ending of segregation and these non-discriminatory practices. Also keep in mind the 1973 federal lawsuit that was brought against Trump and his company for alleged racial discrimination at his housing development. This is just my opinion, but I don't think Trump ever wanted segregation to end, and I think that he blames the ending of segregation and the implementation of equal opportunity orders on his shortcomings and some of his legal troubles, and I think that he would try to bring segregation back as much as he possibly can. I honestly think that he is holding a grudge, and this is his way of trying to vindicate it. He genuinely views anyone who is not a straight white male as a DEI hire. Only our third day out here, and it is already so spooky scary. Spooky scarier than J-Lo's live vocals. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
It's a beautiful country. My family still lives there.
I hate Vietnam.
Lily, honey, we don't hate.
I hate Vietnam.
Why don't you get it? Can't you get it? Understand? We're gonna
I'm so upset with America because here's the thing. It only took South Korea 15 minutes. Their president declared martial law, and it took them 15 minutes to shut that shit down. We just had dude do that on national live television, and people are getting fired over their jobs for speaking up about it. I think we should.
Vamos, mis amores, dale, mis amores. Vamos, mis amores, dale.
My favorite thing about the ICE raids is that the red side does not realize how radicalized they're making our children. Can you imagine your best friend getting yanked from school by ICE? And then you go home and tell your parents and they go, well, they were here illegally, so. Bruh, you ain't never gonna trust your parents or the fucking government ever again in your life. You see families getting separated at church, and then your bishop goes, yeah, your pastor goes, yeah, they were illegal, so. You think those people are gonna grow up believing in the church? Sweetheart, you're radicalizing a whole fucking generation. And we don't even have to do any work for it. It's just you. Liberal agenda don't gotta touch those babies. You're doing just fine on your own. Also the sentiment of the right-wing women going, oh, well, now we'll just have all the babies since the lefties want to shave their head and not have kids. Baby, a majority of us lefties grew up in conservative households. Why do you think we're lefties? Keep being dumb, though. Have fun.
I gotta be honest. As someone who votes pretty progressively down the ballot, and as a Jew, I think the Elon Musk Nazi salute is a bit blown out of proportion. Like, the hand gesture on the surface looks very bad, yes, but we have to actually look at hard evidence to see if Musk has any real fascist ideologies. Like it would be one thing if he had observed and participated in an apartheid state in the past. Or it would be one thing if he purchased a company and after he purchased said company, anti-Semitic slurs like dramatically rose in terms of speech on the platform. That would be one thing. Or, it would be one thing if he idealized and had his whole Tesla business model kind of modeled after Henry Ford, who was, a Nazi sympathizer and war profiteer. That would be one thing. Or if he made fun of marginalized identities in the past. That would be one thing. Or if he donated $300 million to a political leader who wants to get rid of presidential term limits and has inherently reactionary policies. That would be one thing. But until we can find actual evidence.
What's inherently immoral about gay marriage?
It is anti-life and is anti-vital.
What do you mean anti-life?
It does not produce kids, and the marriage itself...
Do you think it should be illegal for two straight people who decide not to have kids to get married?
No, I believe they should still get married.
But then that's anti-life, right?
It is not anti-life in the same way. Huh?
But they're not reproducing, just like two gay people don't reproduce.
Well, I get what you're saying. Are you talking about people who know they're infertile and yet they want to get married? Is that what you're saying?
You're saying ban infertile people from getting married, even straight couples?
No, because at the end of the day, they could still adopt kids and raise them.
Gay people could adopt kids, right?
I don't believe they should. There's been recent reports about a gay couple that is known to abuse their kids. Look up the stats.
I can find you about 13 gazillion examples of straight couples abusing their kids.
I hate it here, so I will go to secret gardens and